we are. We're good.
Well, you should say something. You just being quiet. Like
you saw it on the screen.
I'm trying to be a professional person. I don't see the screen. You see the screen, Shawn. And
so why would you jump? Why would you jump out there and not wait for me to say 3, 2, 1, go? Okay. 3,
My bad.
2, 1, go.
Welcome, guys, to another great episode of Enough Is Enough. I am Onika McClean. I am accompanied by my co-host, Talent the Comedian, and Shawn Cornelius. We are 3 New York City-based comedians, and we have had enough, and we want to talk about it. This is a political, not really a political show. We touch on all kinds of subjects: political, family, finance, laughter. Yes.
Somebody got to mute their thing.
Everybody that's coming into the room, please mute yourselves when you're upon entering. Mute yourselves upon entering, so we talk about different things. We talk about different things, and it's about the brainchild of Shawn Cornelius, and it's just really about enough is enough as a Black community. What we need to do in order to motivate ourselves, activate ourselves to get to the next level. So again, welcome to our show, guys. Clap it up for Shawn and Talent, and we have John, you can just introduce your doggone self.
Go ahead, Honest John.
Yeah, we have Honest John comes in with his commentary every so often. He pops in and gives us that real oh-hee-ho. So, okay, what we need you guys to do is we need you to grab your phones. Grab your phones. It's probably in your hand because you're hearing my voice, and share it. Share this link to your social media pages. Share this link in Messenger. Just share this link as much as possible because we want to open up the conversation. So we're going to give you a minute to do that. Starting 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to do it myself. So just do it. I'm going to get off screen because I need to do it. And you can get off screen because you need to do it. But grab that link and share it. Thank you, guys.
And also go to Facebook, go to my page, and then just share because this is live. We're streaming.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm talking too fast. Yeah. So you go to Shawn Cornelius's page. Look at his name. He's right there. Cornelius. Go to his page. Go down a little on the screen, and you'll be able to see the live, and then just share it. That's how you do it. Okay? Thanks.
That's what I'm doing right now.
But if they still heard my voice, then they were already on the page. But okay, whatever.
Hello, Drusilla. She said hello in the chat. How are you? Welcome tonight. Usually tune in from work. Are you at work tonight?
Where is it? Share, I'm trying to share it.
All right, people. All right.
Oh man.
Got it.
Got it? Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm in all the pages now.
Yeah, I just started copying it and I'm doing it inside my. I'm doing it inside my.
Deal.
Oops.
Good evening, Dee. Good evening, Glenn. I know you're there, Glenn. Just can't see you.
I'm good.
All right.
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on?
We did that in record time, guys.
Yeah, that was good. You guys are getting good at this.
Okay, so now today we want to talk about and we want to send our love and prayers and condolences to the family of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, our Supreme Court Justice, died on Friday. And we want to talk about what that means to our community, what that means to society as a whole, and what we need to look out for going forward. Talent, right. You want to start us up?
Yeah, basically, if folks been living or sleeping under a rock, we're in a place right now that we know we got less than a month and a half really before election day. And we've been every week, no matter what the topic is, we've been pushing people with this gotta vote situation, because I know a lot of us get turned off thinking things don't change. We come up with all sorts of resolutions and reasons why we should not vote. Well, I think tonight is the biggest reason in our lifetime that we should vote. If you're not aware of Supreme Court judges, it's a lifetime appointment. And one of the things that I think the way the law is set up that may be a little messed up about Supreme Court judges is, A, it's a lifetime appointment, and you got to realize this is not somebody that we vote into office, people. The people that we already voted or not voted into office that are there now, the powers that be will enable these judges. They'll nominate them, and obviously we know that the Senate is controlled by the Republican Party, and the president's Republican at the time. So whoever he pretty much nominated is going to pass in the Senate because they have the votes automatically. Now, the strange thing is this. Right now, with her passing, RBG passing, you have 4 and 4 pretty much in there. And it's a nine-person panel with judges. So if they get away with what they want to do, Republican Party, what they want to do is expedite nomination. Now, everybody else, now keep in mind, 2016, they were just saying no to Obama. President Barack Obama was trying to nominate someone for the Supreme Court, and they shot him down because they said it was an election year, and they shouldn't be nominating anybody for that position during an election year. Now, mind you, is over 150 days out from election day. All right. So now here we are, less than 60 days out from election day, and they have flipped the script and saying, no, we got to fill that seat as soon as possible. Now, I understand why they want to do that. They want to do that for a number of reasons. They know a couple of crucial things are coming up to the Supreme Court in the next recent months. One being the repealing of Obamacare altogether. Another being they're always fighting with this abortion thing back and forth. So these are just the recent ones that's coming around the corner. But like I said, it's a lifetime appointment. So this is going to matter going forward, the next generation and probably the next 2 generations, whoever's sitting in this seat. I agree with them what they said in 2016, especially this close to an election, that whoever wins the election, whoever that president is, should have the right and should be the one to nominate the next Supreme Court judge. Now, understand this, people. I don't know if you knew this about the law. Congress does have one trick up the sleeve. If they get away with this expedition of who they want to put and fill that seat, Congress can go in and make another resolution or law and pass where they can add on judges. So right now we got 9 people. We have a 9 Supreme Court judge set up. If they do this and they sneak this under the rug, the Congress can go now, make the resolution and say, you know what? Let's go to 11 judges. Let's go to 13 judges. Let's go to 15 judge panel to try to catch up and refute what had just happened if they get away with this appointment. Now, don't get me wrong. I love the fact that it's 4 or 5 young female people being considered. There's 4 or 5 conservative Republican females being considered. That's good. That's a good thing for, the female fight of equality and all that. But again, this president could be on his way out. Now, another thing we got to look out for is if they get that judge. And the reason he wants to fill it so fast is because the fix is already in. He's already up to something with this whole illegal election. It's going to be rigged. It's going to be fixed. So guess what? If the ballots are not and the votes are not counted in a reasonable time, and it has to go to the Supreme Court, guess what they do now? They can just make him the president. They can rule in his favor, and 4 or 5 gets to stay in office. So this is very important.
Diabolical.
Crazy now
Playing chess.
Yeah, he's crying so much now about
Playing
election,
chess.
on this time around where he's saying things. But McConnell's name is what I wanted to bring up, T, because he was one that blocked Obama's appointment.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it was at one point the numbers were saying like if things that went through, like it could be like you said 9, but it could be a 6-3. It would be in balance, but it would fall towards their side of things for a very long time.
Very long.
The front runner, her name is Amy Coney Barrett, right? And she's uber conservative. They have one other woman that they said that comes like kind of close to her, and she is out of Florida. She's a Latino woman, but it's probably Miss Barrett's probably going to get it. Justice Barrett's probably going to get it, and just exactly what you said. Once we have to talk about counting votes, that decision goes to the Supreme Court.
Mm-hmm.
Let's like really now. Anybody else? John, you want to chime in?
Well, I'll tell you something. I'm just furious at the Bernie bots and the Hillary haters and all that either stayed home or cast protest votes and all that and allowed Trump to take over this country, right? The Trump supporters, they're stupid, and you got to expect stupidity out of them, right? But there were all these people on the left who just couldn't stand Hillary Clinton, and now we got Trump, and his legacy is going to go on for years because of the appointment of not just these judges, not just the
Kavanaugh
Supreme Court, but also all the judges that he's put on the lower courts, 200 judges.
Yeah, over 200 judges he's appointed in such a short period of time, which is astonishing.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know about that.
Yeah.
Talent and Honest John, that's true. I just realized I didn't know about that until like last week or 2 weeks ago, where that's the kind of stuff that a lot of us Americans don't know that happens with the legal system, the political system. I mean, it's not that information is hidden, but that was something that's not readily told through the media, that judges, he just appointed 200 something judges. And that is why, even though this is something that I found really important, a lot of people say, well, voting for the president, he doesn't directly affect me. Well, in some ways he does, and in some ways he doesn't. What we're talking about now is where the presidential election affects us. Now, most of our local races is what we should be voting at too, the midterms.
Right.
However, what we're talking about tonight is where the presidential election affects every human being in the United States.
I think we talked about it before, where just voting for the president is important, but it's your local situation.
The local races really matter, and that's a lot of people sleep on the midterm elections.
Right.
But this topic tonight is really important in why we have to vote in this election.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and not only sleeping on midterms, people of the African American community have forever slept on primaries.
Yeah.
That to me is one of our biggest missing champion causes. Like we're so caught up in, like you said, the big race with the presidential election, but we don't even understand that if you vote for a primary, your choices are limited because you didn't vote in the primary.
Right,
So this person
that's right.
picked. When you look back, you go, damn, I like Cory Booker. You didn't even get out in the primary.
Right.
So
People
got kicked out
that
in the
is
primary.
so true. The primary, your man didn't get in because you didn't vote in the primary.
You didn't even vote in the primaries. You didn't matter because you thought it didn't matter. So then you fast forward, okay, primary votes come in. Like I learned in my neighborhood, this is why we got to go local. This is why local is so important. When you're raising kids in a community and you're mad and you're writing letters, the superintendent of the schools ain't this, the principal ain't this, the board of directors ain't that. These are local elections and town halls they have all the time, and people get invited to. And in the Black community, we don't deem them important. If you want to go even smaller than that, to be honest with you,
Yes.
Black people kind of tapped out and going to PTA.
I was just going to say that. PTA meetings. Yes.
That's at the bottom.
Yeah.
That's as low as you can get of the totem pole. Is your kid's PTA meeting. You don't even deem that important. I know damn well you ain't voting. If you couldn't go to the school, that's usually close as hell because you pick the school district. So you can't even make it 5 blocks down to the school for an hour on a Tuesday night at 6 o'clock to find out why your son is failing or struggling with math or, absent or cutting school. If you can't do that little thing, then I know you're not going to make a town hall. I know you're not going to vote for an alderman or a council person.
Or community board leaders and stuff like that.
You're not going to be in none of that. And then the next thing you know, something that you don't like All you do is got a bucket of complaint sheets.
Mhm.
You know, when you could have saved that money for that bucket had you been a part of the process way back.
Right.
And you have to take the time to know who's running and who you're voting
what they
for and
stand
who you're
for.
voting against, what the propositions are. Like,
Yeah.
let me tell you, I have already researched all the propositions that are going to be on California's ballot. I know what I'm going to vote for, but there's some other offices I don't know who's going in. As soon as I get my ballot, I will be on Google
Right.
finding
Right.
out about who's
Who is
running
this
for
person?
judge, and who's running for
Yeah.
Yeah, you
this and
gotta
that.
inform yourself. Enough is enough of not knowing. Enough is enough of not knowing, because now you know how important it is on so many levels. And it's and as we come up upon this election, I feel fearful. I feel fearful. I do.
You should. You should. You know, you should.
Kind of unsettling because of what happened when this dude got put in office. You know, regardless of what people have seen over the past 3.5 years or whatever, people are still, you know, it's not a settling or comfortable feeling, knowing that, okay, we got to get him out of here.
But the billionaires are still making a lot of money, so not everybody wants him out, right?
Of course not.
Because the profit margins are really up for people out at a certain socioeconomic status. It's not, even this pandemic is not hurting everyone.
But see, here's the thing that you learn in math and economics, right?
Mm-hmm.
In every country has its billionaires, don't get me wrong. But the spending power, see, this is what we get mixed up. We think because we don't have individually $1 billion that we're powerless, which is not true. Our power is in the dollars that we spend. So collectively, let's say you got 10 billionaires. The 20s and hundreds of millions of people who spend on a daily basis, you put that together, you have more money than these billionaires that you are afraid of or think you are powerless to. And the one thing you got to understand is that dollar puts it in everybody's interest. Let's go back 5 years, 4.5 seasons of football. You saw Colin Kaepernick, everybody see him get blackballed, see him take the knee, take his stance on social justice, and everybody was like, oh, well, he's done. Fast forward, the climate we're in now, even football, and you talk, this is a big room full of billionaires. Even these billionaires have to be concerned because they seen the climate change drastically. And the guys who would never admit what they had to admit this season to come into this season knew that it would affect their bottom line. And they couldn't have that. So what did they do? They made a complete about face to secure the dollar of the average Joe and the fan of football. Because that goes to show you, if I made a group of billionaires worry, there's something in what I'm doing. There's power in numbers.
Yes, there's power in numbers.
We learn that in math and economics. There's always powers in numbers than any solo person. I don't care if it's one guy with $1 trillion. You got 100 million people over here who spend money every day. This is America. There is nobody walking around that don't spend money every day, if not every other day.
Right.
You can't. Not in this country. So we have power in our expenditure. We have power in our dollar. And once we move
allies,
course,
and our allies,
and our allies.
That little 11% of black people.
Oh no, but when I say us, I mean everybody collectively, not black people, everybody. You know, when I say us, I mean when we get together. Perfect example is this climate only changed because of us. Everybody got together. You look at the faces and the skin tones in those groups and those crowds that are protesting on a daily basis. It ain't all brown.
Right. That's not black. Right.
No, it ain't. And you know why?
It's a human experience.
And if you look at these conglomerates and these big corporations, they're forced to move with the climate. When I go to hit my Uber Eats to order some food to be delivered, you know, it asked me right away. You want us to recommend some black restaurants? You want to spend your money? You want to spend your money black? That never happened before. Right. This is the climate change. You know what I mean? Starbucks. Remember Starbucks? Black Lives Matter. You can't wear that shit in here. Now, oh, we gonna make them. They got the Starbucks Black Lives Matter
Right.
with the logo.
Right.
The climate change. So
Right.
we say all that to say we're in a shift. We're at the cusp of another climate change. When we talk about these judges, we're right in the cusp of another climate change. I've never seen so much stuff in this lifetime. In one lifetime, we're going through. You gotta realize we're going through the civil rights movement all over again. You know, we're going through a local at-home damn near Vietnam. We're going through all that propaganda, the pamphlets that was dropped out the sky in World War II and the Korean War and all of these little wars to get your mind in a certain way. They're doing it again right now. So if this judge, if they get away with this expeditious thing they're doing, and the next, they did a thing on TV, the average time it took was 70 to 90 days with the whole confirmation thing, the nomination, the vote, the confirmation. They're trying to get this thing done in 40 something 40 days.
40
It'll be
days.
30 something if he picks somebody by Saturday.
He already has two people. He got the top runner is this woman, Amy Barrett.
Yeah, but
So
Amy is not, and here's another thing.
Mhm.
To be honest with you, I looked at it, 4 people's background. They're not qualified.
Well, but right, because these people 1 year experience as circuit judges, they're just
They're
6
not
months
qualified.
experience. They're like they've done
Somebody-
it for 10 years. Like,
Yeah. And some of them had 0 experience in appeals.
Yeah, but
That's what the Supreme Court does.
But Talent, check it out, man. You may be so accurate and 100% in what you just said, but that don't matter.
I know.
Yeah.
Don't stop him.
And that's why what
he's
you
gonna get that done.
and that's
He's
why
gonna
what
get
you
that
said
done.
earlier is even
Just
more
like Brett
important.
Kavanaugh. Just like Brett Kavanaugh.
Yup,
he was
that's
gonna
why-
get that done. He was gonna get it done. And
That's why what you said earlier is even more important. This is serious, man. This ain't no joke.
Right.
You know, this is serious. So it's important that, you know, this nominee, it's a lifetime too, man. It's like, this is serious stuff.
So, but what's the recourse? How can it be a situation where he gets her in? Because Brett Kavanaugh, like they had Dr. Ford up there saying all the stuff that he did and all this other stuff, and you know he's Justice Kavanaugh at this point. So what can the other branches of government, like what can they do to stop it?
They can't do
they-
anything. They
Right.
can't do anything. That's
Right.
just the way it is. The only thing that we can do, is get out there and vote so that, you know, like if you are going to these demonstrations and then you don't bother showing up on election day, you ain't doing nothing but having a parade, as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
Got to get people out to vote. Biden has to win by a big amount. Now, then after that, if he wins, for example, Brett Kavanaugh, right, one of Trump's appointees, they wouldn't release a whole lot of material from the White House because evidently he committed perjury in order to become a federal judge. So Biden gets in there, he releases all that information, and they put him on trial for perjury and convict him, then Biden gets to nominate his replacement.
Okay.
So
Wow.
that's one. We can get rid of one.
Mhm.
I don't know about these other guys. But the main thing is, if we get
Clarence
Trump
is out.
in prison where he belongs, that's the main thing.
Well, listen, Honest John said it, and Talent said it. It's the voting, because you remember what was mentioned earlier about the two houses of House of Representatives of Congress.
Right.
They're in there by voting.
Right.
Yeah,
So that's why when you want to change the houses, you change them by people voting these people out, because those aren't lifetime appointees.
Right.
The House of Representatives, the Congress is made up of House of Representatives and the Senate. And like Talon said earlier, the Senate is what we don't have.
We know about
we have to
Schoolhouse
get-
Rock. Remember Schoolhouse Rocks? I'm just a bill sitting on Capitol Hill. I'm sorry.
You know,
We
it's
had
funny.
to
No, but
laugh
that's
a
funny
little
you
bit
say
just
that.
to get
No,
scary.
it's funny that you say that because as clever as that was, that was clearly over a child's head. I know,
Yeah.
I didn't get it. I mean, it was entertaining.
I
And,
got it.
and I learned the words and I sang along with it. But did I really know we were talking about passing a bill? Absolutely not. I mean, in a cartoon sense, because think about it, when they show you things in cartoon, that's exactly what it is, a cartoon. So if we've seen everything from somebody drive a car with their feet to the flying automobile,
Jetson.
to two black crows talking, Heckle and Jekyll, and that's just what up here, what you walk away with.
You said
Not
the two
really the
black
message.
crows. I got mad when you said the two black crows. I was like, wait a minute, nigga. Wait.
It was two black crows, Heckle and Jekyll.
I know, but I thought you was trying to come from my edges. Okay, no.
Let me jump to the Facebook comments really quick.
God.
Yeah, thank you. We don't even have to do the jokes on you.
Oh my God, she's hilarious.
Jumps ahead of us, T. Listen, Jamie Morgan has said on the Facebook, voted the confirmation down. This time, Democrats don't have the votes to vote it down. Also, that trick by added judges could completely backfire when Trump is reelected.
Yeah, when he's reelected. I know I'm telling you, everybody's like, he's so dumb. He is diabolical. He seems like he's stacking the chips.
I'm sorry, Onika, go ahead, finish.
I just said stacking the chips.
Yeah, I was just going to say, okay, so this really brings us to the foundation of tonight's show and why we're having this discussion, because it's so important to discuss what's going to happen now because of the passing of Ruth Ginsburg. So we wanted to discuss it and bring it to the light. And Dee has her vote, her Alpha shirt there that says vote, AKA. Welcome, LA Blacksmith, who popped in. Good to see you, brother. And so, Onika, why don't you go ahead and jump on this, because we know she was a very important person in our history.
Well, for women's rights, yes, right? Civil rights and women's rights, and
let's jump on that,
right? And so this Bader woman, right? This Barrett woman, she's a uber conservative pro-life choice, which is the total opposite of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. So what's going to happen is a lot of states, I don't know if you guys are, follow it, but a lot of states have banned abortions, where you would have to, some people that don't have like money, they have to go in 2 and 3 states over in order to get a procedure if they need it. And it's been like that for a while. You cannot get abortions in certain states. And if the Supreme Court, and a lot of these cases are going to the Supreme Court, and and some of them you just being shot down. But if the Supreme Court is uber conservative, then that's just going to be the law of the land.
Wow.
For the next 40, 50 years, possibly.
50 years, because those are lifetime appointments, which I don't understand. Why? Because even your ideology changes and your perspective changes as you get older and whatever. And how is it that this one president appoints this justice, and then for their whole lifetime they have this gig? That's just the craziest concept to me. What we have elections to perpetuate democracy, so how could that be? That's the judicial branch is the last buck. The buck stops with the judicial branch, and we having it like if they're kings and queens.
It clearly indicates that we live in a broken system. Period.
What are we talking about? Like, even if you gave them 10 years, right? 10-year appointments, something like maybe 15, and then they have to be reelected or reappointed by whoever the powers that be. There are other ways to fix this system, and it's not crazy. I just don't understand that concept. Like, I just don't understand.
Isn't that kind of way it's set up to continue to control, to have the power?
But you really don't, right? Because it's kind of sometimes Democrats, appoint someone, and then sometimes Republicans. But I just feel like lifetime. Who keeps their job a lifetime? Like a lifetime appointment? That's crazy. Remember when Clarence Thomas got in, and with the Anita Hill and all that stuff, and we were like, Clarence Thomas is still right there, still uber conservative, still voting against a whole bunch of stuff. I think he was like, no reparations. No, it wasn't. No, it didn't go. But that's what I'm saying. Like,
Hey, it's Bethany Brown. I played Null or Janet Petty in The Flash. Shawn Cornelius, your new movement, Enough Is Enough? Phenomenal. Man, everybody let your voice be heard and go support Shawn's campaign, Enough Is Enough. It's time. Bye.
As I walk through my neighborhood.
like he still has these same views all these years later, and it's
Yeah,
like
that's true.
Like, that's crazy. The climate changes, everything changes. Why is that not?
And there's no way in the world you can grab 200 plus judges, appoint them, and really none of color. You're going to tell me there's no judges of color out there, like, that can look through a different lens and have a different perspective, you know, because I think that diversity, we always talk about diversity and everything else, you know. You talk about this company, the company needs diversity. Sports got to have diversity. The comedy show need to be diversified. It's everywhere but here. So when you have these different people from all walks of life that got to stand in front of a judge for whatever reason, like you said, you're getting that same point of view that was from 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 30 years ago.
And even if they change their point of view, who appointed them, their cronies that surround them, make sure that they keep on deciding in that way. The judges' opinions are published.
Yeah.
It's not like they're not closed opinions. So the way that justice always continues to rule, their cronies can see it. So you have to keep that mindset going. It's really, truly honest, John. That's the most honest statement that I've heard today. It's just truly a broken system.
Yeah. Well, it's not broken. That phrase right there, I hate that phrase for a simple fact that the system has never been broken. The system is doing exactly what it was designed to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? This is what the system was designed to do.
For us.
Exactly. It's not broken because this is how they made it.
Right,
It's just that we fast forward decades and things change, but things staying the same, and now it looks asinine. It's always been asinine, but it fit the time way back because who was speaking up?
Right.
Well, we
There
weren't.
was no black judge to speak up for.
Right.
See, that's the whole thing. Is we had a blue wave in 2018,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how we got the Democratic control of the House.
Yeah, that was
Right.
the midterm election.
Finally, we got out for a midterm, right?
We need to have that same thing happen in this next election.
Mhm.
People got to get out there and vote so we can get rid of Trump. Now, the Supreme Court is going to be what it is.
Right.
Maybe we can do some investigating, get rid of one or two.
Right.
But at least if we can get people in there that are sympathetic to the common people instead of to the billionaires, you know, maybe we can get some things done on that level in the government. You know, stop giving tax breaks to the corporations and the rich people, repeal all that stuff, get the money flowing through the economy by giving it to the poor and the middle class.
Because they damn sure gonna spend it regardless.
Right.
They gonna spend it.
That'll make a big change if we can just do that much. The Supreme Court is going to be what it's going to be because when 2016 came along, people, they stayed home.
Right.
They did protest votes for candidates that had no chance. And so Trump got in. And
They had no idea, though. They had no idea what this was going, nobody knew it could get this bad. Like,
they should have paid more attention because Trump, we knew Trump was a racist since he was, you know, since 20 years. We saw him with the birth.
The Central Park debacle.
Central Park 5, all that. So they knew that. and you know, both black people and white people just didn't pay attention to that. Oh, he won't be that bad. He won't be that bad. Well, he is that bad. You know what? He just gave himself today. He gave himself A plus for his handling of the
As he should.
coronavirus.
You know what they said today? They said if Joe Biden would have been the president when we got the coronavirus, he wouldn't have closed the borders to China, and the Kung flu wouldn't have come over here. It would have been worse over here. That's what he said. Kung flu.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but here's the thing. Like, I mean, the virus is just part of your problem. How you react is everything. We can't.
What about our mask?
We can't. Well, I mean, the mask is that's the petty part of helping with the cause. This is, you know, after the fact. Once you don't clamp her down and do what you need to do, who in their right mind, first of all, is going to take office, and when they start cutting stuff, they're going to cut the damn thing for the disease. You're going to cut a program set up for a damn pandemic. You're going to cut that out. So when the pandemic come on, man. Ain't nobody in here gonna buy a car without the engine.
No, when I said the mask, and so I got like a little too with the Democratic Party as well, because when back in April, there were a bunch of masks that were supposed to be distributed through the post office to every American. Every American was supposed to receive a mask. And then the current administration said that no, that would incite like hysteria, and that would make everyone else afraid. So they did not distribute the mask. And what they did with the masks is they sold them to a company, the undisclosed company, and I assume Amazon, because where you bought your mask from. So then what happened is they sold it to the company, and then we had to buy the mask ourselves. But 2 or at least 4 weeks later, isn't that if I'm telling you, if I received a mask in the mail from the government, I would think I need a damn mask. I probably wouldn't have worn the one that they had because I'm black. I would think they had some little anthrax in it and it would have killed me and gave me some kind of heart disease trying to kill my ass. I'm not stupid. But I would have known, I would have said, I think I need a mask. The last time we got something that was perishable from the government was government cheese. And we used that cheese because that cheese was imperishable. Like you couldn't even cut that damn cheese. So
you had to buy a whole different frying pan for that cheese. That was special cheese.
I'm gonna show you all my mask.
I know he got some good shit. He got the American flag on the wall. This mask got to be crazy.
He might be the non-masker person.
He got the
You got the N95 jammy.
This here,
look at this.
y'all know.
Let me see it, John. Let me see.
That's on keeper.
What the hell is that?
Yeah, what the hell?
That's the shit they wearing in Seattle.
For real?
This is a
Where'd you get that? John,
Model it, John. Put it on.
John,
Yeah, put it on. Yeah.
So we can see how it works.
Can you share the link with us and so we can get it to our listeners? Oh my God. You look like Hannibal Lecter.
That's just scary. Yeah, that's just scary.
You look like Hannibal Lecter when he's like, hi, Claire.
I'm telling you something right now. We're gonna wear that shit. I'm not going out.
John, do this. John, do this. Say hi, Clarice.
Wait a second. Check this out.
Yeah.
This is what's called a training mask. It is what athletes wear when they have to train in countries with a lot of pollution. They're training in the city. So it filters out all the stuff. This mask is protecting me even more than regular masks do. Check this out. It's inside of it. There's all kinds of valves.
It's a vagina.
Let me see it. So, challenge. Maybe she should do a Kegel. If the vagina's looking like that, she needs to do a Kegel or two. That's really big. That's really big. That's when the baby just came out. But go ahead, let me see.
That's bone creases.
Not for nothing, John, but I had a mask similar to that with the carbon filters on the side. And
no, that's not the same thing. That's not the same thing.
As what he has?
That's not the same thing. Look,
I know what you're talking about. Both of them shits look like the end of the world. Let me say that.
It does have a,
That's not the same thing. Look at that mask.
it
that
does
that
have
man
a,
has.
Oh, look
it
at
does
that.
have a filter
But
right
it has
there.
yeah.
It's got a filter right there.
Right.
And then it has all these valves and stuff, and I can manipulate them to open up and close down the airways so that less can get in or more can get in.
So how many valves is on the side, John? And how much did you pay for that? And where'd you get it?
There's 4 valves on the side,
Mm-hmm.
and I paid exactly $0.00.
Nice.
Cause you why? Cause you white? What happened? What happened?
No,
The
check
white
this out.
gave it to you?
Check this out.
Boom.
It was delivered. It was delivered to me by accident.
I think I've seen that before,
Yeah,
LA.
right. The whites gave it to you. They
was
sent it
delivered
to
to me
you
by-
in the mail. Look at this
It was
shit.
delivered to me by accident, and I would have, if I could have found out who it was supposed to go to. I'm an honest guy. I would have given it to him. But what happened was when the post office lady left it at my door, she tore the thing off so that she had proof that she delivered it.
Right.
And when she tore that label off, she also accidentally, I'm assuming, tore off the label that showed where it was supposed to go.
Right. So it's yours now.
So I had this package delivered, and I'm like, well, this is my lucky day.
Wow. That's so what's the name on it? What's the brand name? Because I wanna try to look that one up. Because I know that one of the whites just gave it to you, and I try to do what y'all do. Okay, go ahead. What's the name?
I don't see the name. I don't remember the name.
How
But
you gonna ask what's the name of a stolen product?
Yeah, right.
No, there has to no like maybe
does
a
have this
label.
This
Is there a
nigga
label in it?
crazy. This
symbol on it.
nigga. So let me see what's the name of it. Let me order it. He don't even know. He stole it.
We got the black portion out.
Okay, sorry.
We all get in trouble. And
I did
Hey,
not.
John, don't listen to her. John, show me the vagina part again.
I told
Look
you.
at this. This is amazing right here. Look at this. This is amazing. Look at
It
this
does
right here.
look like
It does. Yes. It's very nice. Very nice.
You can't do nothing in
And
that
that's
but
where you
back
put your
stroke.
face, right?
yes.
Very nice. Very nice. Good man.
And then I go.
I'm a counter.
Yo,
Ruth
Shawn.
Ruth Ginsburg.
Yo, Shawn. What happened to Ruth Bader Ginsburg?
I was getting ready to
We gotta get back to that.
I got
But come on, you can't let that go. You see that mask.
swing batter. She was nicknamed the notorious RTP. Let me. Now you're supposed to be taking over, Onika. Now you're falling out because he's talking about vagina all of a sudden.
Because he's a child, and when children,
And you
Say
just followed him up.
I'm sorry.
All right.
I did not steal it. It was a gift from the universe.
Right. Well, see, here's the thing. So getting back to the government, here's the thing. With something like Onika asked back then, we left off at the mask thing about what happened, what about the mask. This administration, you got to understand something. The man this week just admitted to, of course, I played everything down. This is going back to December, January. Of course, I played everything down. Yeah, I knew. He basically told you out of his own words, he was hoping that this thing just blew over. Few people get it, few people die, it blows over, we get a hold on it. But you have to have things in place. And even if things are no longer in place, you have to act swiftly to find out what it is about this virus. You got to understand something. It was in other places before here. You don't cut off You don't cut off communication with those places when it reaches here. You keep communication open with those places because if they're a week or a month ahead of you, they know at least one or two things that you haven't learned yet.
We don't, right?
But I knew they were reporting about the coronavirus in China, like in every day on
Right.
CNN, and every day I would read in the Times, like 200 people every day, 200 more people. There's 300, 5,000. And I was like, damn, it's like 200 people a day. And then same thing happened here.
Right.
Same thing happened here.
So I want to shout out RBG for the one thing that I'm always going to remember about this
And
justice
she's a Brooklyn
is,
girl. She's a Brooklyn girl too.
of course she is. I was just going to say that her toughness. I'm always going to remember because I'd be damned if she didn't try to hang in there. I mean, We watched for the last couple of years of her just going in, dealing with ailments after ailment, beating
She was
cancer, going
working
back.
out.
I mean, she was working out. She was busting her hip out, had a hip replacement, then the knee, then it hit the head. She was hanging in there to the point where she made sure every time she went in and out that hospital, she released some sort of statement. Like, I'm not going away. I'm trying to hang in there, don't do nothing, because they, every time she got an ailment, you heard the Republican whispers. Well, maybe, let's get her to retire. Let's get her to resign. Let's get her to step down. And she hung in there. If nothing else, we got to give her credit for her long battle to hang in there, for the right thing. She knew what it was about. She knew that she was that deciding factor. She knew that she was that ninth woman in there that meant so much to those decisions being made and those rulings coming down. So if nothing else, we got to shout her out and remember her legacy on that.
Yes. You know what her last words were? Her last words?
Fuck Trump.
No, she was like, her replacement should be replaced by the new incoming president.
Right.
Yeah, not Trump.
Not Trump.
Yeah. She knew what was at stake, and she was trying to hang in there, man. She really was. And
she understood the severity of everything. Yeah. And this brings us full circus to go back to the main reason we wanted to bring this up tonight is because, like I said to Shawn and Onika earlier, we're in the eighth inning of pushing our people to vote. Yes. We're obviously not beating a dead horse. We're not beating the people who already vote. We're beating the people who still do not want to vote. I watched an interview of this young black lady who was at that town hall with Trump. And she was one of the women who stood up and asked the question that he dodged, disrespectfully dodged the question, wouldn't answer it. And she admitted it in her interview that she was deterred from voting and was not going to vote. She just wanted answers, to some of the stuff that he had changed or that she deemed was biased or racist or whatever. But the fact that he dodged those answers to those questions changed her mind and turned her around and said, you know what? I got to vote for the disenfranchised, not just myself, but people like me. There's so many people like me. And she changed her mind and is now going to vote. We have to vote. When I say we have to vote, not just this time, people, we have to, again, go to those lower things, go to our community, go to our neighborhoods. Anything that we have a right to vote on that means and matters for us and ours, we got to get out there. We got to get back in these primaries, man.
And you got to listen to the news.
We got to do what we do.
You got to know what's going on. You have to be informed. You have to be informed.
And like what was mentioned earlier, those propositions are important. People sleep on those.
That's right.
For all the elections. Most elections have a proposition. Once in a while you may see none, but almost every election, midterm, primary, otherwise, there's propositions on there that affect your community. And you need to read the back of that election sheet to read them.
Yeah, and see what's going on. Knowing you must know. Like, don't just go in there. Like, I remember first starting to vote. I got registered in high school, 18 years old. We had a black math teacher that made it a point with all the students because she knew that this was our last year, her seeing us. And if she just let us fly into the wind, we probably wouldn't do it. There probably was nobody in the community to make us do it. And she was right. So everybody that she forced to register to vote, at least half of them exercised that right in some form of fashion. I got a question for Onika and the other females. How important is it that there is a woman that replaces this woman? Or does that matter?
I think that it's more important that we have a more liberal justice replace her, not really just a woman, because I know women in pro-life and right to life and all that stuff, that's really important as it relates to religious communities and stuff like that. And I don't think male or female at this point really matters as much as it does what their agenda is. And that normally shouldn't really come out of my mouth because there's only one other female justice also in my ear, right? And so, but it's really about women's rights getting taken away. So it's not really about female or male. At this point, it's really about getting that liberal mindset in that seat.
Gotcha.
Any other women want to say anything? There's somebody else here. There's another woman. Come on.
D.
Come on, D.
D.
What do you think? What do you think, D?
I concur with you.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter if it's male or female. It's what they stand for.
Right.
Because like the front runner on Trump's agenda right now, she's a pro-lifer.
Yeah, she's a pro-lifer. Mm-hmm.
So,
And she's young, and they're young, so I mean, she's gonna be there forever.
right.
Well, you know, Trump loved young girls. First of all, 4 or 5, he loved him some young
Wait
chicks.
a minute, he just got accused of another Me Too.
Yeah, of course. Let me
This
explain something.
model said that she tried to he pushed his tongue in her mouth, and she had to like bite it.
The best Trump show is yet to come. With all these legalities and stuff, that's why I'm really in a rush to get him out. Because I just want to see everything else play out after the fact. Because he's in so much hot water and trouble and all this legal, especially with the state of New York. I'm waiting to see all that play out.
Talent, you are on point with that. If he gets out, if he is no longer in the presidency, he's got a lot on his plate.
That's right.
That's why he's fighting so hard.
Listen.
That's right.
Silva, you want to say something? Okay, sorry.
That's why he's fighting so hard.
Right.
Because he knows what's on the other side of
Face
that.
the music.
Because one thing about it, you can't party yourself. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Well, shit, he gonna try.
Right
No,
now.
he'll change that. I think he root for
He gonna pass the new judge gonna pass that. But the only reason, let me explain why I asked that question. It's not so much that I'm worried or was referring about gender, other than the big question. One of the big arguments over this abortion thing, you know, when Trump got in office, the whole Planned Parenthood was up in the air, and the whole women's rights thing and abortion and pro-life. What I was concerned with, one phrase stood out during that whole fight back and forth, and that was, there should never be a room full of men making a decision on what a woman does with her body, because he doesn't have that type of body. He doesn't go through that. He doesn't know what that is. He can't speak for that to an extent. And when you have a room full of men and they're sitting there making that decision, I agree with every woman that said that. That is ludicrous in itself. So that's why I asked the question of, you know, when that person comes in there, does it make a difference? Because I would think with something that big, if I'm a woman, I need as many women views in that room to knock it down from every angle and counter corner that I'm covered. There's somebody's in there speaking for me, not just a guy who can't feel what I feel.
But we don't have the numbers, right? So we don't have the numbers. So the perspective is just going to be pro and con, right? That's it. That's the pro.
You don't need many, Onika. You don't need many. You know how women roll. Women will overpower a room. This is a Zoom with 12 of us on it, and it ain't but 2 women, 3 women, and y'all overpower us right now. We can't win. So all you need is some estrogen in there somehow, some way, that when that sit down happens, trust me, if you fight for what you believe in, you can sway people to see at least and understand where you're coming from. But if there are no next to nil in the room, you know, men are going to be men.
But this appointment is not about male or female, because what happens is whoever is appointed, they have to keep with that same views. Remember, those decisions are all published. So even if somebody has a dissenting view and they have like their whole, they do a whole, you know, a decision saying what their rationale is, at the end of the day, those justices are going to always determine things along their party line. So so male or female, we need that thought, that party line, that party line.
You know, Onika, that's a good point. Like talent, I hear where talent is coming from in sense of generally.
I understand what he's saying, but
when you have a gender, the gender tends to be more sensitive to the gender. But you can have a male that's going to have that thought process that you're speaking of, Onika. So again, it doesn't really matter the gender. It's that mindset, because male or female can have that mindset.
Yeah, because the woman that Trump appoints ain't gonna have that mindset.
Right.
No, who doesn't?
Right.
Yeah.
You know that.
All right, guys, it's 9:25, so we got to start wrapping it up. I think this was a very good show, as usual, as always. Some very valid points and some education came out, and we appreciate it. So let's go ahead around with Talent and Onika for their final thoughts. Onika.
Well, I would like to nominate Honest John.
Me too.
I don't know if I have the votes or not, but I'm just going to put it out there. I want to nominate him. He's already on top of the mask situation. He steals. You know, he has women's best interests at heart. So, in closing, I just want to say vote, and then vote. Always.
And I practice making women happy every day.
Now, what you do? Right, what you do?
I'll lick it.
Another block. Here we go.
John, why you let them do that to you? You listen.
John is pro-choice.
Your beard looks so nice. He pro-choice? Well, he ain't get nobody pregnant anyway. It don't matter. He nobody get pregnant.
Your final thought, your final word. We're not going to
I'm sorry.
about Ruth.
Excuse me. This is serious.
Can we go back?
Okay.
Look at that serious face.
Our love and great thoughts go out to the Ginsburg family.
Yes.
We are praying that you guys really start taking this democracy, your community, as a part of who you are. We really, truly are one, and you really cannot just close your eyes and turn your head to the left and just let life just happen. You have to be engaged, even if it's uncomfortable. Right now, this pandemic has showed us a couple of things. One being that you are responsible for your health, your well-being, and how you operate in this community. It's enough. Enough is enough. For me today just means it's time for us to sink all the way in. All the way in. If you're on all the social media platforms and you're looking at all the housewives of whomever, you really need to listen to some of those news outlets, and not just the ones that agree with you. Right. Listen to the other side of it. Right. Because when you listen to the other side of it, some of it you can't agree with. So if you have an open mind, some of it you can't agree with, but you still need to know what's happening on the other side. What's being perpetuated. Mm-hmm. And I'm so smart. Y'all should follow me on all social media.
Thank you very much, man. We appreciate that. Listen, man, I hear people say it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Please understand that it matters.
It obviously matters.
Your vote matters. If you haven't seen it over these past 3.5 years or so, you know it does. So do something you might not have done the last time.
Right.
And make sure that the people that are in your household are registered to vote. Make sure that, because we just assume certain things. Ask people, say, are you registered to vote? That should be your first date conversation. You know, I heard that the dating apps are popping. That should be on your, are you registered to vote? Don't talk, nobody gets any trim. I shouldn't have said trim. Trim is so old. Unless they're a registered voter. Such a power. What? Somebody got to say something else. What the hell, Shawn?
Well, Shawn, I was waiting for Shawn, but he looks frozen. Is he frozen?
Shawn, he's
black and fuzzy. He black and fuzzy, but I don't know.
Yeah, he's frozen. So anyway, in closing, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank everybody for your time, because time is actually everything with you guys. Glenn, great input, bro. Appreciate you all the time. Everyone, D, Drew, everybody that's on here, Blacksmith that came through. We appreciate you. Let's keep these conversations going.
Yeah.
We only got a few Mondays left before you know what Tuesday comes, and then all the marbles, for all the marbles. And everybody's homework each week is to grab 2 or 3 new people to get them to vote. If we all do our homework, the numbers will triple, and we'll be fine.
Outside of New York.
Yes.
Because New York is pretty much covered, but we need to talk to people in those southern states out west, and grab a few of those people and let some
them Southerns here.
You're
your
right.
cousin to make the moon shine in South Carolina.
Yeah.
Them too.
Yeah, you gotta get them to vote. You gotta get them to vote.
Yeah,
So
I
like
mean, the
you
white
said-
people out there in those
Glenn,
areas.
we are not gonna let you be the last voice that these people hear on our show.
Hold on, that's not Glenn. That's not Glenn. Finish, brother.
What? See,
Oh, cut Blacksmith off. Blacksmith.
Yeah.
Go
Yo,
ahead, brother. Finish your thought. I'm sorry.
What I was
And
going
then
to
Glenn
say.
go.
Do we all look alike?
yo, LA. I mean, I don't think we look that much alike.
But I
And
want
Onika know better. Onika know better. She just playing. I love you too. And listen, y'all. I love all of y'all. Make sure you get like. I'm so surprised. I'm gonna make this real quick. Shawn said he saw people saying that they don't know about voting. I don't get with that. I don't understand that. Try to change people that you know that don't want to vote. Change their mind. That's all. And I'll see y'all next time.
Amen.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah,
Blacksmith,
right.
you want to finish your thought?
Man, I don't remember what my thought was.
I'm so sorry, brother. I apologize. You know, Anika didn't take her medicine, and I'll make sure next Monday we get that Ritalin working for her. And I like to mix the Ritalin with the Benadryl. That kind of slow her down a little bit.
D,
So
you want
I
to say
promise
something?
next.
D, you want to say something?
It's too late. He forgot his thought, Onika.
His name is Blacksmith. Is not D. D is a different person.
No. What I'm saying is, you know, Blacksmith, I'm apologizing to him. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm sorry, Blacksmith.
That's okay.
Go ahead, D.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, one of the big things in Florida that people don't know when it comes to presidential election, if they're registered independent and there's no independent on the presidential ballot, they won't be able to vote for president. You have to be a registered Democrat or a registered Republican.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yes, if there's no independent
In the state of Florida.
in the state of Florida.
Wow.
Are any other states like that? Are any other states like? Wow, let me look that up.
I think we all just got some homework.
D, I got a question for you. That's for the general election. I know primaries are like that in New York.
Right.
Primaries are like that in New York. But you saying what you just said applies to the general election in Florida?
Yep.
Wow.
Because I used to be an independent, and that's when I realized that I couldn't vote for the primaries.
Wow, that's crazy.
For a general election, you should have the ability to vote, for in a major election. So that needs to be checked out.
Yeah, I got that from a supervisor of election.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy right there. Man, the South is something else, man.
Yep. Oppression.
Yeah.
Voter oppression is real, man. Suppression and oppression. Well, thank everybody. Have a wonderful evening. Onika, on behalf of Shawn Cornelius with the limited Wi-Fi from Cricket.
It was good.
Wow.
Shawn, you look good.
Oh, you're back.
Shawn, you gotta say
You look totally different when you came back.
Shawn, you want to say something before we cut off?
Hold on. Shawn came back. Shawn operating off a generator. Look at Shawn.
Shawn, you want to say something?
I would. No, I just was in the middle of saying it when everything went crazy. But again, the important message is you guys all said it. We got to get out there and do our part. And we can't expect change if we don't change it. We got to get out there and take our own business and stop playing around. I mean, we're all older now. We can do what we need to do. We got to pull these people that are beneath us, or not beneath us physically, but younger than we are, beneath us in age, and even people that are not younger, just folks at our age that just still are not on that wavelength of I can do something and make something happen and make a difference. I appreciate you, Talent. I appreciate you, Onika. Every week, it continues to get better and better. John is John, and everyone that's come on tonight. Thank you so much. Next week, my sister has confirmed, because she had to get some things cleared with her job. She will be coming on presenting a financial plan for us, talking to us about finances and keeping our finances together. So I just want to say thank you so much. Have a great week. Bless you all. And we'll see you again on Enough Is Enough SC2020.